A performance without soul, without desire. This Juventus team steps foot on the pitch, not with the intention to win a game, but to wait till the final whistle. We have players who are screaming to be seen as leaders, and then when everyone's on the pitch, everyone's silent. We have a manager on the touchline who is moving back and forth, demanding something from his players, and the players don't react. Allegri has lost the locker room, and it's kind of sad. It's because it's been evident for some time. This team is in a rebuild, and as much as I and others keep saying it when talking about results and the performance of the team, however, if we're in a rebuild, that would imply that we're working towards something. That would imply that we have a foundation. That would imply that every time that these players train or every time that these players show up for a match, that there's improvement. But I can't say that about this side. And I can't say this about this squad. I do not see any improvements. I do not see anything from this squad. We went from a team that was reactionary to reactionless. We conceded 2 goals to Maccabi Haifa and we didn't score anything. On the weekend, we conceded 2 goals to Milan, didn't score anything. After 2 games where we scored 3 goals in both games, we failed to score a goal in 2 games. So we scored 6 in 2 and now 0 in 2. At a certain point, you have to make a change. We went from a team, we never looked like we were going to score. We never looked like we were going to come back from that. And this is the thing that's starting to really worry me, because while Allegri was coach in his previous stint, he was successful for a few reasons, but he really did a few things well. His subs, he always made the right substitution, and he always brought in a player that would make an impact. So he read the game very well. So that's something that clearly is not the same anymore. Allegri is not good in that aspect. But the second thing is, Allegri's teams, regardless of how they played, found a way to win. And now that is gone. These last 2 games, in my opinion, have solidified the thought that regardless if Allegri continues as coach, I don't think this team cares, and I don't think this team wants to play for him. As much as, like, I want to, say Allegri out every day and just get a new coach and replace him. It's the same thing, with our prior 2 coaches. I give hate towards Pirlo. I give hate towards Sarri. I give hate towards certain coaches on things they did wrong or whatever. But who do we bring in that's gonna really change this? But at the same time, we can't not fire Allegri, because at this point, what do? We just kicked ourselves out of the Champions League. And that was the one competition that you needed to progress to the round of 16 in order to generate income, so that next season we're able to buy players or we're able to balance the books. And now with that loss, we are basically out without counting the rest of the games. We're out because I don't see us winning to Benfica. I don't see us winning with PSG. So do you make the change now? Because Allegri has, dug his grave, so to say, and now we're laying to rest because this team is dead. It's over. This team is dead. I don't see anything. I failed to try to be optimistic, and I wanted to try to make this video seem a little more energetic, but clearly my emotions from the game are coming through, and it's just, frustration. I don't want to ramble, but as a Juventus fan, what we're going through right now, it hurts. You go from 9 years of winning where you essentially expect to win every game. And even in the games that you didn't expect to win, you knew you would win because Juventus always found a way. They were grinding results. Whatever it was, they found a way. And I think something that I have to be honest with myself as a Juventus fan too, I think, a lot of people I've seen say this, and it's true, we've been spoiled. But what we see right now and what we continue to see on a weekly basis, that's rock bottom. I didn't think it had to get to this point for us to relaunch ourselves, because every cycle comes to an end, and Allegri said it. And in football, it's about cycles. One player is not going to play for his whole life. He's not going to always be good. There's a new generation, there's new coaches, there's new everything. It's always constantly changing. But it's almost as though there is no plan, there is no foundation, and it is not a rebuild. It's almost as though Juventus' management, in my eyes, I don't know what they're doing. With Arriva Bene saying they're 100% behind Allegri, I wouldn't take his word on anymore, because that game just sealed our faith essentially in Champions League this season. And I'm not saying we should have expected to won the Champions League. But why would you support your team if you don't want them doing well? This is a tough one. And again, I'm not even going to talk about the players. These players are being paid so much money to go out on the pitch, and this is their job. If I went to work and I didn't do my job, should I still be paid? The answer is going to be no. They're not going to pay me. So as much as Allegri's at fault in all of this, Allegri will be the one who goes before the majority of this team. And that's fair because he's the coach, so he has to own the responsibility that he's in charge of these players. But these players need to do more. They really do, because when you can't even put 3 passes together, and it goes from it's a mental thing or is it the coach? And in my opinion, it's both. And in my opinion, even if you bring a new manager in tomorrow, I think we would expect results. We would see a shift in the team. But I wouldn't be surprised if the things we see between this Juventus, between Pirlo's Juventus, between Sarri's Juventus, I wouldn't be surprised if they show their face again. And that is why I'm so concerned, because I don't know, and I'm lucky and I'm happy that it's not my job to figure this out, but I don't know what Juventus are going to do. But if you want to take anything from this season, you have to make a change. And that change is Allegri at this point. Who you bring in, that's another question. But it's definitely not Montero. I don't want to see short-term solutions. If we're going to do something like that, just do a caretaker until the end of the season at that point. Life's tough being a Juventus fan lately, and I don't know, but if you like Juventus and you like my content, make sure to drop a like. I'm getting close to 400 subs. I want to hit 1K before the end of the year, and I make daily content essentially for Juventus. So if that's what you like, follow, sub, like, whatever, do it. Thank you. Appreciate the support. And it doesn't get easier because Juventus play against Torino next match. So we'll see where we go from there, but I don't know. Forza Juve. Let's see what we do on the weekend.